bolts that went in the top of here are so boogered up they aren't going to go in, so I had to replace them. You have to disconnect this wire because this starter has to come off. Well, in case you missed it, this starter gear broke. This is the second time it broke. Here's some of it that's left. And from what I understand, it was because of the valve timing. It has had trouble starting for about maybe 4 or 5 months. So I guess I should have done something about it earlier, but I didn't know what to do. So you have to disconnect this. This comes from the solenoid, which is right here. By the way, here's the solenoid right here. Now, I might have told you something different about what size to use to get this thing off. This is a T40 right here. Then these bolts are going to look like this. They give you an instruction sheet on how to put this on and the order of the parts. If you have this style of starter right here, you're going to have to knock the roll pin out. Right here's the roll pin. Right there. Now this one here, there's a removal tool. And according to these instructions, the removal tool is to remove the C-ring. I got it off with these two small screwdrivers. And it came off fairly easy because I had already taken it off once before. But I've got a new C-ring now. But make sure that you follow these instructions on how these things go back together. And this is my starter right here. Right here. They give you all of these parts, and these two parts are packaged together. Now these parts came from Briggs and Stratton. Here's the C-ring down here, and the washer, spring washer right here. So here's the other spring that you will need. But make sure that you follow this order on this paper. So first of all, we're going to put some anti-seize on there. Now this has a unique shape like this, and make sure that these flats go against the flats on this shaft. Okay, I've got it seated down there, and it's just fine now. Okay, so I've got this on first. Next comes the gear. Now these gear teeth are very specific. You've got to have this chamfer. All of these chamfers, in this case, are going to go up because they are going to engage with the ring gear. And this is how it's going to work. When you hit the starter button, or the key actually, I think it starts down here, and then when you hit the starter button, centrifugal force forces it up like this, and then it engages with the ring gear. So I'll put that on next. Next we'll go this spring. They gave me a new spring in this kit. And here's the number for this kit. So that goes on next. Then comes the this spring washer. The picture does not look like it's very clear, but the way I'm going to do it is to put the spring washer like this. So that goes on next. And then this cap, whatever it is, And now they have a special tool that you can use to put this snap ring on. I call it a snap ring. They call it a C ring. But there is a special tool. I'm going to use a socket. Well, with a lot of struggle, I finally got this C ring on there, and I used a 10mm socket to get it on there. I just had to keep pounding at it, and it kept going crooked on me all the time, but I finally got it on there. And it does look like it's on really good. It's seated really good. There's a groove in the end of this starter that C-clip goes in. And you want to make sure that it's fully in there also. It's got a recess in this cap, and I don't see anything wrong with this cap, but there is a recess in there. Right where that C-clip goes. It's right at the top here. I'll check it once again to make sure the C-clip is seated, which it is, and is properly seated. Also, make sure that these chamfers are on the top. A chamfer is where the gear has been modified so that there's a rounded area right here on top of the gear, instead of the sharp right here. The sharp area would be on the bottom. There's no chamfer. Clearly there's no chamfer here. The chamfer is definitely up here. And it's somewhat rounded so that these teeth engage into the ring gear evenly. Okay, I took this flywheel here and I put it on very carefully. And I've made a lot of machine parts on all kinds of machinery, and one of the things that you have to have is in machine parts like this is a keyway. Now right here is the keyway. If I can get this over right. Right there is a keyway. And there's a key in there. The key is made of aluminum and it's perfectly square and it goes in this slot right here. And there's also a corresponding slot in the crankshaft. And I've made a lot of crankshafts and I put a lot of keyways in a lot of crankshafts. So you've got to have these keyways lined up, otherwise the timing will not be right, and if the keyway falls out, there's also a problem there. So I looked down in there and I made sure that that keyway was there. Alright, now we're going to go wide out. This is the washer that goes on top. This has to go on there. And this has a dished area on the bottom of this washer. Now this is the original washer that came off. And it's got a dished area that goes down. So I'm going to put that down. And then put this on, this nut. Now this is the area where that washer was. It's more shiny right here because this is where the nut rested. And on top here it's all rusty, so naturally that would be the top. So put that on. Thread it on by hand. Do not just set it on there and start using your impact. Okay, here's the impact. I got this at a garage sale. Most people that buy an impact at a garage sale do not know that there is a dial here on the bottom. This dial right here this one has 4 numbers on it. You have to set it to the arrow and put number 4 on the arrow, because that's the highest torque available. I do not even use the other numbers, 1, 2, and 3. Put it on 4, because if you do not put it on 4, you'll get frustrated and just give it away at a garage sale because you don't know what's going on there. So this is 32 millimeter, and make sure that you set this correctly so that it's going to spin the nut on clockwise. Now see there, I didn't put it on right. Okay, now we're going to adjust the valve timing. I've got the valve cover off. This is the head right here. And what you do is you make sure that this valve here is fully closed. Closed all the way. And now we can adjust this one. So put your feeler gauge in and make sure that it is 4 thousandths. And that's what this one is. 4 thousandths. So we're going to put this in there, rest it up there. Take this wrench. This is just an open end wrench. This one is 13 millimeter. And then this one here is, if I can find it, this one is 5 millimeter. And this is just a plain Allen wrench. So you're going to put that here. Put this on first, like this, and then put your Allen wrench in there. Okay. Now loosen this nut on the rocker arm. This is the rocker arm right here. Okay, so we got that loose, and I'm gonna, let's see, I'm not sure how we'll do this. Now check it again. I got it really tight. I don't think you want it that tight. So I'm going to have to change it. Now there's two types of valves, and there's two types of cam followers, or I forget the technical term, but lifters. These are solid lifters. Solid lifters have to be adjusted. Hydraulic lifters are more forgiving. They have to be adjusted too, but they aren't as critical. All right, now that time, this this feeler gauge barely came out with a little bit of drag, and that's what you want. You don't want it to be so tight you can hardly get it out like it was the first time. So what you have to do is hold this set screw in the middle and then tighten it down with your wrench over here. All right, now I tightened it pretty tight, so now we're going to check it again. Okay, it's got a little bit of drag to it, and that's fine. All right, now we have to adjust the other one. All right, now this time we're going to turn it so that this valve is depressed. Make sure it's depressed all the way. Okay, now just watch it. Watch this rocker arm to make sure that it is depressed all the way. Okay, right there. Now we're going to adjust this one. First of all, I'll check it. Again, use the 4/1000 gauge. All right, now it seems like there's a lot of play in there. Same procedure. Hold the set screw with this Allen wrench and then loosen it up. All right, now you're going to turn the set screw in just a little bit. And then keep checking it. All right, it won't even go in. Okay, now it goes in just a little bit and a little bit of drag on it. Okay. So hold the set screw where it's supposed to be and then tighten it. Keep the set screw at the same place. Do not let it turn. I put the valve cover back on, but then I had second thoughts. I thought I'd better check the valve stem guides to make sure that the valve stem guides are not sticking out too far. Okay, I'm checking the top one, this one. Now I'll check the bottom one. Now they look okay. Okay, now start your screws in the same way as I told you before. Start it by hand first and then use your ratchet. Okay, this is the fuel pump, and it's going to have to come off. And so I'm going to have to figure that out. Also, this connection here goes into the valve cover. And this one here is where you hook the gas line to. So make sure that you don't mix them up. Now we're going to set the valves and follow the same procedure as we did before. First we'll check them, see where we're at. Well, we got to turn this. We got to turn the crank to get it in the right position. Okay, we want this one down here to be, we want it to be as far in as possible. Okay, right there. Okay, that means we can adjust this one. Okay, I'm going to say, since I can hardly get it in, I think it's right to where it should be. Okay, that one's okay.